All right, we're on our way now to Hominy, Oklahoma. Che Tolis, a renowned artist with many, many different talents. He's worked in metalsmith, he's worked with paints, he's worked with murals, things like that. So we're going to go down to Hominy and see what it's all about down in Osage country. Now, this is a Blackfoot Indian in Osage country, a little bit displaced, but very, very talented. We're going to go see what all the fuss is about in Hominy.
Footage it off. Basically, the objective is we record too much, we take the good stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like right now, right now would be dead time anyway. What's the? Yeah, it's lost.
Okay, yeah, I don't really know what to say right now, but just the bare bones fact of the matter. We're lost. And, okay, I'm just gonna feed the cliche. Men do not like to ask for directions. Hominy, Main Street, USA, right here at Che Tulis Gallery. And going to go inside and visit with Mr. Tulis and talk about some of his wonderful sculptures, jewelry, paintings, you name it, he's got it in there.
Well, I started painting when I was about 2, and so my first actually it was a picture that I did of a horse when I was 2, and never really considered an art field in the beginning. I wanted to be a veterinarian and, whatever all the other kids want to be, firemen and policemen and all that stuff. But had a wonderful art teacher in high school. And so the town, raised me and kind of shifted me in different directions. And I started doing signs and things. And I went to work here in this building when I was 13 as a silversmith, because I was making silver and turquoise jewelry in my dad's garage down the street. And the old man that had this store, it was a jewelry store, and he asked me to go to work for him. So I worked for him from 13 until I was probably about 16 or 17. Worked at a gas station here in town and manufacturing plant. And dreamt of going to art school and being an artist, and knew that the possibility of me going to school was not possible. So I focused more on creating the jewelry and things. And then the oil bust hit in 1986, and it was absolutely horrific for this community. And it was, people that I had grown up with and had been raised around, and started seeing them people realize that they couldn't make a living here anymore. So they were leaving, and some of the businesses were closing up. And people were a little depressed, so I wanted to paint a couple of murals in town just to kind of brighten their day. I didn't have any idea at the time about the tourism industry. And surprisingly, after I did the 2 murals, it ended up on the front page of the Tulsa World and, on the television stations and things. So it completely changed my focus at the time, and I started putting my artwork in the store itself. We were still a traditional jewelry store at the time, and people were struggling to buy food. So after it ended up in the media, the people from out of town with money started coming to town, tourists, and they started buying my things and asking for more. So I started filling the store up with my stuff, and it's just grown into quite a gallery today. I make silver and turquoise jewelry. It's kind of difficult because out of necessity, I've always been talented, and I'm not bragging, but talented at many different media. So not only do I paint and sculpt and do jewelry, and but I sketch, and we make all the things that are also here in the gallery. So at times it's a little bit difficult to kind of find focus, but I'm not so sure that it's not a blessing, because actually I don't have time to get bored doing any one thing, because I do so many different things. And because I've been painting for so long, I probably enjoy the painting more. But, you can change the entire mood of a situation with color, and sculpture's a little different, but and jewelry's more of a personal item. But when you paint large and huge, and use bright colors or different colors that change the mood of people, that's what I enjoy the most. New Territory was a dream of mine many years ago. Actually came up with the idea after an interview with another magazine article, and saw the photograph that they had taken of my murals. But in that photograph was the hill that I placed the sculpture on. And I had, I played on that hill when I was a kid growing up. We used to take old car hoods and the ice and the snow, and then we hid out up there and rode horses up there. And I never realized that it was so prominent on Main Street. I didn't realize, when you grow up next to Disneyland, you don't go to Disneyland. So after I saw that, I had a dream, and I saw the image on top of that hill. So I scrounged around and asked the Chamber of Commerce and the local people here for support. And since I had not done any sculptures, public sculptures, there was a lack of interest. And I'm the guy that grew up here, and I don't know that they recognized at the time that I was capable of pulling something like that off. So we had a huge snowstorm about 3 years later, and out of that snow, when I say huge, it was only 8 inches, but that's huge for us. So out of that snow, I created 2 sculptures on the sidewalk out front. One was a buffalo and one was a bear, and spray painted them. You can actually spray paint snow. I don't know that most people know that, but the day after I put the sculptures up, we were having people from Oklahoma City come in to see the snow before it melted. So the chamber got together real quick and came over and said, "How much money do you need for the new territory sculpture up on the hill?" And I said, "I don't have a clue, because I've never done this before." So they gathered together, and a bunch of them pitched in, and I had about $980 some to go buy steel with. Had never bought steel before in my life. Didn't have a welder, didn't have a cutting torch, didn't have a building to do it in, but I begged, borrowed, and stole some things, and finally got a building to work out of. Actually from the people that own the hill, which is the Drummond family here on the Osage Reservation. And I started working on it, my son and I. He was about probably 6 or 7 years old, and we were lugging steel around in the barn and welding things together and cutting them together, and got it all made. And then we didn't know how to put it up. So I called the Osage road department, highway department, and they came in with their heavy equipment and put it up on the hill. So, and it's been that was in 1997. I finally completed it in 1997. It took me about probably a month and a half to complete the project, but it's been amazing. It really has been amazing. It's something that you recognize. The image stirs many emotions, the actual image, This was part of the Cherokee Strip originally. And the Osages were forced out of Kansas by the government to purchase this piece of property from the Cherokee Nation and turn it into their reservation. Unwillingly, they came and they were here. So it was new territory for them. It was new territory for the Cherokee originally also, because they were forced out of the Carolinas over to here. So and it was new territory for myself, being a new sculptor. It was new territory for the town to get behind a project like that. So I came up with the title New Territory, and it's worked quite well.
And I think there was also the OU Indian Students Association or something on OU campus we were going to go try to get an interview at.
I think we were just going to go talk to the cheerleaders.
Ah, yes. The OU Indian Cheerleaders Association.
On the grounds of the University of Oklahoma campus here in Norman, Oklahoma, we've arrived at the Jacobson House Native Arts Center. Now, this is a great place, a lot of history. Mr. Jacobson started it here. This was actually his house, and a lot to do with the Kiowa 5 artists and things of that nature, but a lot of art going on here all the time, and we always love to visit and get in here and talk to Russ Tallchief. Here's the man right here, Mr. Russ Tallchief. And Russ, great to see you again and being here at the Jacobson House, and a wonderful artist being spotlighted here up until November 25th.
One of the best, absolutely. And unfortunately, a short-lived career. Merritt Creeping Bear died in 1990 of some complications related to diabetes, but he was a self-taught artist who put together in about 15 years one of the most really, I think, profound pieces and bodies of work of any other artist, and it's something that's really unique to him as an artist to, in a sense, tap into an inner culture. And so that's what I've been trying to do in this show, is to communicate the inner culture of Merrick Creeping Bear, and that's his own inner culture, but it's also the like spiritual essence of a person as well as their physical presence that he's communicating on the canvas. So that's what's most fascinating, in addition to just a very diverse sort of an aesthetic. There's no one piece alike.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about last time we were here. You know, we were talking with you about how the best artists are the ones that never pigeonhole themselves.
Right.
They keep it varied. They make sure that one painting is never the same as another one. And when we'll take a look around here in a minute and walk around and look at some of these pieces, but I think that would probably be his main calling card, was the fact that he was so varied and that you can look at one painting and it looks totally different from the next.
Mm-hmm. Right, and the fact that he was self-taught is really extraordinary, because when you look at the detail of his work, you would think that he was a technically trained artist, because he's got a virtuosic style that is epic at the same time. So there are some intimate pieces, but there are some very large-scale epic pieces that communicate such a sense of kind of an inner vision that he has, both of the physical world, but also there's always this sort of spiritual kind of presence in his work, and not spiritual in kind of the new agey sort of a sense. It's as if he is looking into the spirit world, or he's able to see into the spirit world in some way or another. And so we can take a look at some of those pieces and illustrate what we're talking
Absolutely. I'm ready to take a look at some of them. Let's get started right away. Which one do you want to start with here?
Let's see. Why don't we take a look at the eagle shield here? It's one of my personal favorites, and what we have to accompany most of these pieces, I should say, is quotes from Merrick. And this piece shows the warrior with all his eagle feathers on his shield. That is his coup. He's a great warrior. His shield shows paintings of eagles. This is his protector and his medicine. He wears a bone breastplate and choker. His lower body is almost spirit-like. And this is his power. He has the light of the heavens shining upon him. He's blessed, and this is also shown by the red stars on his shirt. He is within the universe, in harmony with all that the Creator has made.
That's an awesome piece. You look at the light coming through there.
Right.
That's really awesome.
I can't say it any better.
Yeah.
And so that's why we just have Merrick's comments on the pieces. The commentary are sometimes written on the backs of the pieces, like in pencil or pen or paint. He'll just write something, and there's one piece that has just something about the basketball team, the high school team, 1988 winning the state championship or something like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes not even related to the works at all.
That's awesome.
And so let's go look at this piece over here, The Children of God. It's really one of my favorites. It's not one of his larger pieces, but I think it illustrates really the essence of what the show is all about, and that is the Kiowas as the children of God. And you see the buffalo, the man, the eagle, you see the sun, you see the stars, the cosmos, you see all this energy swirling together. And that is really a quintessential sort of an aspect or characteristic of Merrick's work, which is this sense of oneness that he communicates through sometimes very literal kinds of energy swirls that have the different elements of the universe coming together as one. So you get a sense of his perspective of what that looks like and what that is representative as. So the children of God really represents all of us.
That's one of the cool things is we were looking at it earlier talking about it's not some of his works you look at them are not your status quo traditional Indian dancing around a fire paintings.
Right.
They're they incorporate the universe and these psychedelic colors and everything like that, and I think that just gave an insight into what he was really thinking, like you said.
Right. And since we're over here, we have the Maria Martinez pottery down here. This is an actual Maria Martinez pottery. And then Kevin Gonzalez here is next to her, and he is her great grandson. You can see the black on black is still alive and well in San Ildefonso. And they got the feather designs there. And these, the smaller pieces over here, are actually children from San Ildefonso who have continued this tradition as well and are also descendants of Maria Martinez. They are 12 and 14, I believe, in age, and would be the great grandchildren of Maria Martinez.
Moving right along here.
Why don't we go on into this room?
Absolutely.
Again, I guess this can also reiterate the Children of God sort of a style and the message, I guess, in a sense, that has the man, the bird, this wind song, as it's called, and it's almost like a gust of wind that, again, has the different elements of the universe swirling together. And so it's just, in a sense, a depiction of an energy that exists, that's ever present. This man exists just as much in a physical form as a spiritual form, and same as the bird. And maybe they're in the physical world, maybe this is him capturing them, freezing a moment, freezing a wind song, and in a sense tapping into an energy, a spirit that exists in this wind song. This is Jacobson's easel, by the way. That's why it's kind of messy, but it's a great display piece as well. The Kiowa Lives over here, in a sense, captures the life of the Kiowa people. And he's looking at things that are just part of everyday life, like the buffalo, and just the teepees, the green sun coming up with the stars is just indicative of the universe. And he says the Kiowa man is proud and strong, and the buffalo in front of him is one that he killed for the things that he needed. All parts were used, of course. There was nothing wasted. The buffalo is a sacred creature given to us from the Creator. So this is just a depiction of Kiowa life, but you can see from an artistic perspective, you get this sense of drama. There's the buffalo being killed here, and so you get this fragmentation of time as well. And it's the thing that makes it painterly, is just the fragmentation of time that he can do, where he's in a sense given you a peek into the life of this warrior and something that has occurred in his life and something that is natural to Kiowa lives. And then we got the row of teepees back here. So just a really amazing and typical kind of scene of Kiowa life, but I mean at the same time done in such an artistic way that you get a sense of the drama as well as the everyday.
And you get a little shot of contemporary Kiowa life right down here. There's the man himself. Looks like he's kicking back at the Kiowa gourd dance, so having a good time. That's awesome. So a wonderful, wonderful painter, one of the best, you said. And so looking around at all these works, this is very special to have it here. And we'll be going on, his work will be on display here through the 25th of November, correct? It started October 7th, so come on out. And the hours, I believe, are just regular hours as your
10 to 5, yeah, Tuesday through Friday, and on Saturdays and Sundays from 1 until 5.
So you can come check that out. And there's still got a little pottery from the Maria Gonzalez, or was that the right name?
Maria Martinez.
Maria Martinez, I'm sorry. Gonzalez Martinez, yeah.
Kevin Gonzalez.
I got the two names mixed up, but yeah. But that's basically the gist of some of the artwork here. And if you're out and about in the Norman area, in the Oklahoma City area, maybe even out in western Oklahoma, you have to come check this out. I mean, seeing it on television is one thing, but actually being here, seeing the texture of the paintings, and seeing, some of the things that Russ has to say about these paintings is one of the things that really puts you in contact with them. So we appreciate you being here with us today, Russ. Always a great time when we come to Jacobson House, and love being here, and this is wonderful.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Iveline Tatras, manager of the Muskogee Creek Nation Elderly Housing. Here at the Muskogee Creek Nation, we recognize our elders as being a major influence on our culture. That's why we take care of them with fully equipped homes and daily nutrition and a sense of security. At Muskogee Creek Nation, taking care of our past means we also take care of our future.
My name is Lindy Waters. What I do is I'm the Associate Director of Student Life here at OU. Also the Executive Director of the TRIO programs. I have an Upward Bound and also a McNair Scholars program. And I also oversee Director of American Indian Student Life, which is overseeing all the American Indian student organizations and our Multicultural Center and a lot of the activities that go on here on campus and a lot of the events. Well, ACE is pretty much the heartbeat for our American Indian students here on campus. They are the glue that pretty much holds our student body, American Indian student body, together. They put together a lot of social events, a lot of cultural events, a lot of opportunities for students to get together, to socialize, to feel supported. And a lot of times if they can connect with ASA early on, they're students that can usually end up graduating within 4 and 5 years. When I went to college, I didn't go to OU. I went to another school where I was one of 2 Native students. And, just like any other Native at many of our campuses, I almost left after the first semester because there wasn't anybody like me there and didn't understand me. So I understand the importance of the role of an advisor, mentor, counselor, just someone to support the students. And my role here isn't to be / director, coordinator, someone as a figurehead. My role is to just be someone that I can connect with the students that need that support or fill any void or gap that they may have to help them succeed here at OU. ACE is not the umbrella organization, but it's the largest organization we have here, and they have a lot of our major events that happen. In the fall, we don't have too many events that take place. One of the events is our Fall Powwow. This year it's October 20th. It's held here in Norman, and it typically has a large gathering of our Native community from around Norman as well as around the state. We also have another organization called Retaining American Indians Now, and they have a lot of social events probably once a month that a lot of the students gather, and it's not really events for the outside community, but they have a big showing as far as the students within the campus and the student organization, student membership here at OU. So this fall, the standard meetings, general meetings. We have a fraternity and sorority, and they have their standard meetings throughout the fall, bi-monthly, twice a month. So it's just we kind of go through the fall with just meetings and one dance. In the spring, that's when we kind of come all together and try to pool all our resources and put together a lot of our major events in the month of April, and we call it American Indian Heritage Month. And we kick off the month with a Heritage Day, to where we usually have President Bourne or some high-profile speaker meet on the South Oval, and we do a heritage walk that comes from Dale Hall over to Bazell Statue, and a lot of the students get behind them, get behind a speaker or someone singing, and they walk, and it's called our Heritage Walk, and that kind of kicks off our month of activities. Throughout the month, we have the sorority has a basketball tournament, which is a pretty large basketball tournament now. It's in its fifth year, I believe. We have a Miss Indian OU pageant where we crown our Miss Indian OU, which is our representative and speaker for our American Indian Student Organization throughout the year after she's crowned. And then we have our annual stomp dance and powwow at Lloyd Noble. And that's usually the third week of April, and it's held down at Lloyd Noble, and that's one of our largest events. Then we culminate the month with a banquet, awards banquet here, where we invite all our American Indian students that receive scholarships, as well as our faculty and staff to come, and we recognize a lot of our student leaders and some of our students that get academic awards throughout the year. And it's usually a banquet of about 150, 200 students, and they bring in their parents, grandparents, and just kind of a celebratory to end the year. And then finally, we wrap it up with a graduation ceremony, which is on the same day as our OU commencement, and we call it our American Indian Academic Achievement Celebration, and that's when we get to recognize all our graduates. Undergraduates, graduates from our Law Center, graduates from our OU Health Science Center, as well as our Tulsa Schusterman Center.
Smali, tasa ako susinili ang ginaistun sangga.
Pangana riibe hayatkaus.
Ada magas.
Pangana hayatkiruang noge.
Fanny molo jo subananga.
Tumor saatiet.
Hitla hani subani doang.
Wat, hiji mokhetsari chin hisakta das tumidanga.
Ma hiji mokkase di wekki diga hisagre ran hiliga ampane hayatkiruang.
The Muskogee Creek Nation Tobacco Prevention Program offers all cessation classes to young and old. For more information about a healthier life and a second wind, contact one of these centers nearest you.
Hijida, Hilishwa Fatsa, CNA de Dos, Moes.
Where hiji mokkeskera mokkes aknoar stinokesis, still easy dois.
Well, it's another week here on Native News Today. We've got stories from Hominy and Norman. I think this pretty much wraps everything up. We're going to hop in the car and head back to the house, and we'll see you guys next week. Bado, Hadum, Chihichaslis.